A single gesture can change your entire night. She touches her neck while talking to you. Most guys think it's just nerves. Wrong. It's attraction. 3 out of 4 men miss these 8 body language signs and lose the chance completely. This isn't about mind reading, and of course, verbal consent is vital. But understanding these psychological signals is the difference between being just a friend and sparking real attraction. The #5 sign is so obvious, yet 90% of men confuse it with shyness. By the end, you'll never miss these cues again. Let's decode what she's really telling you. The first signal everyone gets wrong is when she touches or exposes her neck. This isn't a random, meaningless tick. It's a deep-seated, primal signal. From an evolutionary perspective, the neck is one of the most vulnerable and sensitive parts of the human body, home to the carotid artery and jugular vein. Exposing it is a subconscious act of submission and trust. It's a nonverbal way of her showing she feels completely safe and comfortable with you. When a woman tilts her head, sweeps her hair back to expose her neck, or lightly touches her collarbone, she's nonverbally saying, "I trust you enough to let my guard down." Imagine you're on a date. She laughs at your joke, and as she does, her head tilts back, exposing the long, elegant line of her throat. Or, as she listens intently, her fingers drift up and graze the delicate skin of her collarbone, maybe toying with a necklace. Most guys see this and their brain registers 0. They don't recognize the weight of the gesture, but what she's subconsciously showing is, "I'm comfortable with you. I trust you." It draws your attention to a sensitive, intimate area. While this can sometimes just be a sign of general nervousness, in the context of a flirty vibe, it's the good kind of nervous, the kind born from excitement, not fear. When you see this, don't just ignore it. That's the biggest mistake. Instead, reward the signal. Deepen your eye contact for an extra second or lean in just a little. Recognizing and validating this quiet signal shows an emotional intelligence that is incredibly attractive. The second sign is so subtle that it often flies completely under the radar, but it's one of the most reliable indicators of a deep psychological connection: mirroring. Mirroring is when she unconsciously copies your gestures, posture, or even your speech patterns. When she starts to subtly copy you, it's her brain's way of building rapport and saying, "Hey, we're on the same wavelength. I like you, so I want to be like you." This happens because our brains are wired with something called mirror neurons, which are designed to help us connect and empathize with people we're in sync with. If you lean forward on your elbows to tell a story and a moment later she does too, that's mirroring. If you take a slow sip of your drink and she immediately reaches for hers, that's mirroring. It can be as simple as you resting your chin on your hand, and a few seconds later, she's in the same thoughtful pose. The biggest mistake guys make is not noticing it, or worse, noticing it and thinking it's a coincidence. They just think the conversation feels really natural and comfortable. But that feeling of comfort is the signal. It's the physical proof of the emotional and psychological connection she's feeling. So next time you're in a great conversation, pay attention. If you spot this subtle dance of mimicry, it's a powerful sign she feels deeply connected to you and is ready for that connection to get even deeper. Forget everything you've ever heard about intense, unbroken staring contests. A much more powerful and genuine signal of growing attraction is what I call subtle glance games. This isn't about aggressive eye contact. It's about those shy, stolen glances that show a perfect, intoxicating mix of interest and nervous excitement. It's a dance of approach and retreat, all done with the eyes. Here's the classic play-by-play. She'll lock eyes with you for a quick, intense moment, just a second or two. Then she'll break the gaze by looking down or away, often accompanied by a tiny, nervous smile. A few seconds later, she'll sneak another look to see if you're still looking at her. This little eye dance is huge. The first look is the signal. I see you and I'm interested. Looking away, especially downwards, is a classic submissive gesture. It shows she's a little flustered by the intensity of her own attraction to you. Then the most important part, the look back, is the confirmation. I'm still thinking about you. Did you notice me? Are you interested too? Many guys misread this completely. They see the look away as a sign of disinterest and get discouraged, not realizing it's part of a flirty back and forth. The best response is to meet that second or third glance with a warm, confident smile and hold it for just a beat longer. It tells her you've received her signals loud and clear and you're interested too. Sign number 4 is all about the little adjustments she instinctively makes to her appearance when she's around you. These are called preening or grooming gestures, and they're powerful subconscious signals that she's trying to look her absolute best for you. They're often mistaken for random habits or vanity, But when you are the clear trigger for these actions, they are anything but. When a woman is attracted to you, she will subconsciously try to highlight her best, most feminine features. The most common example is playing with her hair, twirling a strand around her finger, flipping it over her shoulder, or sweeping it away from her face. This action draws your eye, frames her face, and, on a primal level, is all about putting on a good courtship display. Another classic is briefly touching her lips, licking them, or even reapplying lip gloss. She might also smooth down her dress, adjust a sleeve, or fiddle with her necklace. These are all unconscious efforts to remove any imperfections and make sure she looks as good as possible for the person she's attracted to. A guy who isn't paying attention just sees a woman playing with her hair and thinks nothing of it. He doesn't realize that he's the reason it's happening. When her grooming behaviors spike in your presence, it's a super strong sign that her attraction is climbing because your presence alone is making her want to perfect her appearance for you. This next sign is one of the most subtle and is therefore missed all the time, yet it's a profound indicator of comfort and openness. It's the presence of small, rhythmic, or swaying movements. When a woman feels relaxed, comfortable, and sensually open around you, her body often shows it with these little fluid motions. It's a sign she's not just sitting there politely, she's totally lost in the moment and the vibe with you. Imagine you're talking in a bar with some low music on, and you notice she's subtly swaying from side to side in her seat. Or maybe you're just sitting on a couch, and she's lightly and slowly tapping her foot to an imaginary beat. These are not signs of impatience or wanting to leave. It's the absolute opposite. This indicates a deep level of physical and emotional comfort. Her body is relaxed, her muscles are loose, and she's enjoying the energy you two are sharing. It's especially powerful if there's no music and the rhythm seems to be coming purely from the flow and vibe of your interaction. A rigid, still body signals tension, guardedness, and discomfort. A body that's loose, fluid, and rhythmic signals openness, pleasure, and ease. Recognizing this is huge. It tells you she feels safe and is enjoying your presence on a visceral level, which allows you to relax too and confidently move the interaction forward. If the eyes are the windows to the soul, then her feet are the compass of her true intentions. This is sign number 6, and it's one of the most honest and reliable pieces of body language you can observe, precisely because almost nobody consciously thinks about what their feet are doing. A person can fake a smile, they can force eye contact, but the feet rarely lie. We unconsciously point our feet in the direction we want to go. If she's genuinely interested in you and engaged with you, her feet will almost always be pointed toward you. You could be at a party or in a group setting. She might be turned at the waist and talking to other people, being polite. But if you glance down and see one or both of her feet are angled in your direction, that is a massive indicator of subconscious interest. Her body is literally telling you where her mind is. She might be physically stuck in one conversation, but her subconscious wants to be in a conversation with you. Conversely, if you're talking to a woman one-on-one and her feet are pointed away from you, especially towards an exit like a door, that's often a very bad sign no matter how much she's smiling or nodding. Always trust the feet. They are the true north of her interest and will tell you where she really wants to be. Sign number 7 can feel like a confusing mixed signal at first, which is why so many men misinterpret it. It's the presence of small, nervous fidgeting gestures. Now, while major overt anxiety is a bad sign, a specific kind of low-level nervous energy is actually a powerful indicator of high attraction. When we're genuinely into someone, our brains release a cocktail of chemicals like adrenaline and norepinephrine. Our heart rate increases, our senses sharpen, and that new energy has to go somewhere. This isn't the "I need to escape" kind of nervous. This is excitement-fueled fidgeting. It might be her lightly and briefly biting her lip while you talk, a classic gesture that mixes a little nervousness with drawing attention to her mouth. Or it could be her fingers restlessly playing with her jewelry, the stem of her wine glass, or a button on her shirt. These are small, self-soothing actions we do to manage our internal state when we're emotionally revved up. The average guy completely misreads this. He sees her fidgeting and thinks she's anxious in a bad way or that he's making her uncomfortable, so he backs off. He doesn't get that he is the one causing her heightened, excited state. This nervous energy is a good thing. It means you're affecting her on a physiological level. When you see these signs, the best move is to remain calm, centered, and confident. It shows her you're in control and that she's safe to feel that exciting energy around you. And now, for the sign we've been waiting for, the one that often marks the critical turning point from a friendly chat to something more. It's when she starts initiating brief, subtle and seemingly accidental physical contact. Touch is the most direct and powerful way to build physical attraction, and when she starts finding excuses to touch you, she is actively testing the waters and signaling that she's open to moving things forward physically. This is almost never going to be a big, obvious gesture. It's all about plausible deniability, allowing her to gauge your reaction without risking overt rejection. For example, while telling a story, she might lightly touch your forearm for a split second to emphasize a point. Or as you walk through a crowded room, her hand might briefly press against the small of your back to guide you. She might accidentally graze her fingers against yours when you both reach for a menu or a drink. The first time might be an accident. The second or third time, that's not an accident. It's a strategy. She's breaking the touch barrier in a low-risk way to see how you react. Most guys are totally oblivious to this pattern. They fail to see the test for what it is. By not responding or by recoiling, they shut the door she just tried to open. The right response is key. The next time she touches you, simply acknowledging it with a warm smile is a great start. If the vibe is right, you can find a natural moment to return the gesture later. This is the bridge from conversation to physical chemistry. But remember, it is not a substitute for consent. Recognizing these signs is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. The clues are always there if you know what to look for. If this blueprint was helpful and you want to become a master at understanding the secret language of attraction, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we have a ton more to cover. And do me a favor, like this video to let us know you want more content just like this. So there you have it. 8 powerful body language signs that show she is genuinely attracted to you and potentially ready for more. From the primal vulnerability of an exposed neck to the deep psychological rapport of mirroring, and from the unflinching honesty of her feet to the massive signal of a subtle touch, these are the cues that truly matter. This isn't about using manipulative tricks. It's about being present, paying attention, and understanding the unspoken conversation happening right in front of you. It's also important to remember that some gestures can mean different things across different cultures, so context is always king. When you can read these signals, the fear of rejection starts to disappear. You're not a mind reader, but you're no longer flying blind. This knowledge empowers you to act with confidence. But the final, most important step is always clear, respectful communication. Body language gets you to the door, but verbal consent is the only key that can ever open it.